Okay, I watched the first episode of The Mandalorian. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a
Don't
nice.
post your Baby Yoda gifs. Don't do it.
That's a nice isolated story that puts in a couple nods to things. It does what you'd expect, right?
When's it?
When is it?
Yeah.
That's the funny thing is I actually am not sure.
Okay.
So there's like I'd like if you're gonna watch it, right? I like figure it out from that, or I'm sure people have like nailed it, or
Is Disney releasing these one episode a week?
yeah,
fuck that.
they're on 3 episodes.
I'll
now.
wait.
Okay. Yeah, I'm actually not sure, and I bet you that people are probably like having discussions about it, but there's some signs that seem to indicate it might be this point in time. There's some signs that indicate it might be a little bit like before that. I'm not 100%. So,
Apparently that Baby Yoda is very cute.
well, and there's some other fun stuff too besides that thing. Like I was like, oh, there's a droid that showed up. I'm like, hey, it's like IG-88, but it's different. Some other things, and you're like, okay, cool. So anyway, yeah, it seems to be. It reminds me of the way, obviously not the way it looks, but the way it's written reminds me of the Gendy Clone Wars. In the sense that, at least from this first episode, there's a lot of like. Not silence, but like very straightforward delivery of events. And nothing's trying too hard to like push a second layer of things at you. Right? It's just kind of going like, hey, this is in Star Wars. Here's a couple references to things. And everything you're looking at is very clear cut, straight up delivery of events occurring, and that way you can it's probably because like that'll upset the least amount of people if you do fuck up by just delivering a very straightforward story. But so far at least as far as that pilot goes, I was like, yeah, I'll watch more of that. Should be interesting. Also, if you like Mandalorians, then you'll get to see a whole lot of
by
that.
the head of Lucasfilm saying it's really hard to make stuff in the Star Wars universe now because we don't have any comics or books or anything like that to draw off of like Marvel does.
Yeah, that is funny.
And everyone in the universe went, you fuck.
Is it possible that the decision to kill all that stuff off was contested internally?
Yeah, probably.
Is it possible that someone like that might come out and say that, almost being like, see what happens? I don't know.
They could have just killed all the stuff off post episode 6 and been fine. And been like, and then just mined it for ideas and just redone them
and
later.
Kept everything from pre.
I mean, for fuck's sake, Mandalorian itself is a comic from the expanded universe. They never fucking say Mandalore in those movies.
I think they said something. I remember somewhere. I'm not sure if it's official or just like speculative, but there was a line along the lines of like the nature of the expanded universe made it so that directors and like other like movie making types were scared to touch the property.
Oh, it was gigantic and massive, and every event for 20 years after the fucking movies ended was detailed in every conceivable way.
So anyone who has to come in has to go familiarize with all that shit.
Yeah, but
they're too scared to.
You can still fucking mine it for cool ideas. You can still create a Admiral Thrawn and have a blue villain asshole who's just a general.
Well, I imagine that's kind of what their plan was, / what they're gonna do, / what they're doing, is by you kill it all off, but you grab bits and pieces that like are worth bringing back.
Well, Wooly, we need to have
maybe
we need to have the lightsabers that spin like helicopters. You seen that shit?
No.
Oh man.
But I am familiar with General Grievous.
Oh, so the fucking bad Sith people that hunt the Jedis in the Clone Wars shit, their lightsabers are double-sided, but they're like circular around the handle because they hit a button and they start spinning like a helicopter, and they use them to fly away.
Oh no!
And the main antagonist in Fallen Order totally has that lightsaber, but I bet you dimes to donuts that she will never ever use that function because it looks like the shittiest thing ever.
Wait, do they literally?
They literally hold their
Inspector
arms
Gadget
up and fucking it starts to spin. They fly away. You can look up clips of this easy on the YouTubes. It's very bad.
Why would you approve that?
It's very bad.
It's really stupid.
And that's canon.
Also, it's light.
But Revan, fuck Revan.
It's light.
Shut up.
It's not a helicopter blade.
It's light and it has no mass.
There's nothing to propel you.
Shut up. Like, I think when I started my Fallen Order stream, I went on this mini rant that was based off of a similar rant that Rich Evans did on one of their Star Wars things, which is Star Wars is totally fuck bankrupt and has no variability and nowhere to go because the movies have course corrected over and over that you can only have this archetype, you can only have this. You're watching it right now, aren't you?
Maybe.
You can only have the cool wizard who's got what you got, scoundrel, gunman.
Jesus.
Oh, you're looking at it.
Oh, it's so dumb.
Oh, it's bad.
No.
Oh,
There's no mass. It's just nothing. It's just light. Oh, fuck you.
and
That's stupid.
like every Star Wars thing has to follow this really rigid formula of like who the good guys are and who the bad guys are and what they're all like. And like the expanding universe wasn't like that. So kill it.
I mean, that's canon.
Like you want to hear but let's talk about Star Wars canon. Here's how fucking dumb and how little you should take Star Wars canon seriously. Hey Woolie, why is it that when Luke and Vader are fighting in episode 6, you know, with the final fight, Return of the Jedi, and they're swinging these fucking things around like they're the heaviest goddamn shits ever.
Because that's how the directors were told.
Because Lucas
that's how
said,
they were directed to do it.
Swing them like they're heavy swords.
You go back to this point a lot. You always bring it up.
And then everything after that, he's like, oh no, wait, they're made out of light. They should be totally weightless.
Yep.
Yep. And like, but shut up. Like, it's stupid. It's dumb.
One of the questions that like comes back every once in a while to me, and then it occurred last night, was one where I realized I'm like, wait, so I'm like, right, I never actually, because I didn't watch the CG Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I never like I assume that's the place where you find out how we go from the clone army, clone troopers to the stormtroopers. I assume the process of them getting replaced is explained somewhere in those seasons.
Yeah.
But like I always kind of have those moments of going, wait, yeah, what was the bleed into that? When did we go from like fuck these clones into like let's just hire grunts?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. Shut up. You
But
hear
anyway.
about them.
And
I got a guy in here that explains the helicopter blades.
yeah.
In so doing proves that the helicopter blades are even dumber. They're flying with the Force, not the sabers, which is already established as a thing for short-range levitation.
So
if that's the case,
so
then why do they need to spin at all?
Yeah, sure. You can use the Force to fly, sure. Well, then why that?
Why hold up your helicopter blades?
Like it's one like why do you need these things to occur, you know? For the visual of the helicopter blade, is that literally
so that the
it?
kids understand they could fly?
Because spins make things think
It's so
helicopter
stupid.
move go.
Star Wars is the worst. I really like a bunch of things in Star Wars, but I now realize that everything that I like in Star Wars is either the first 3 movies or video games that came out like decades later.
Everything you like in Star Wars is powered by something you hate.
Yeah.
Something stupid is powering all the cool shit.
You ever... Woolie, you know
Literally.
You remember KOTOR and how there's vibro swords and there's swords
Sure.
that are just made out of metal?
Yep.
And it hit the lightsaber?
Yep.
You want to think about how the lightsaber has no mass at all?
Mm-hmm.
if you have a 10-pound sword, right, and you swing it at a guy who holds a lightsaber up, and the lightsaber has no mass, that means they have to control the recoil all with their wrist, right? Mm-hmm. Doesn't that mean you're going to hit their lightsaber and it's going to push the lightsaber just straight into their body because they have nothing to hold your sword back?
In theory, but the Force, though.
Oh, the Force! Always with the Force now.
How else? You know, that's why. Gotta use it to hold it.
If that's the case, why don't they all just hold their swords around them telekinetically and just be Magneto with lightsabers and just shoot them like projectiles?
Because they're not that good. It's hard.
I said hard. That. I am waiting right now for somebody in this chat to say, so back in the day, there was this guy who was like a fish man, and he didn't have any arms or legs.
Like, welcome.
Some do. There it is.
There you go. Welcome to the discussion. Not only that, welcome to the discussion about, like, if a lightsaber is just a machine, why can't anyone pick it up, press the button? And
sure enough, they show that.
Yeah,
Finn does that.
There's stuff. There's a whole discussion there, you know. So
exactly. Oh fuck yeah, that happens in KOTOR too.
Yeah,
I completely forgot.
Yelling it.
There's a boss fight that character does that.
Sure,
great,
dude. Saber,
that's not canon.
That's what saber toss is.
Yeah, Yeah, totally.
It's a move.
Just throw 35 sabers all at once. Who's gonna stop it?
So, just don't question it. Just consume product.
Star Wars is the worst.
It's the best worst.
Star Wars is the best worst.
Okay, what did you like? Did you enjoy that? Yeah, well, guess what? That only happened because the secrets of the wills took place on a small midichlorian level.
The Will of the Wisps?
The journal of the secret wills.
The bugs?
Yep.
The bugs in our hearts?
He didn't say there were bugs.
What are they?
Your brain thinks they're bugs because they're small.
Yeah.
He never said that. I'm picturing tiny little human fairy things.
Oh, No, they're bugs.
I'm picturing mini humans. I'm picturing Ferngully.
Oh, that's so dumber.
Yeah, no.
That's way
the
worse.
wills, though. The wills. I think the wills are like little humanoids. I don't think they're bugs at all. That's where my brain goes. You don't know. Yeah, it's in there. It's the only reason cool shit happens.
I fucking hate Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I fucking hate Star Wars.
Yeah. So, if you want to learn about, or you want to just enjoy the Mando, you can just watch the Mando.
You know what's funny? Me and Plague and Paige were watching some Star Trek last night, and there was a moment in which, and this happens every single time I talk to some old Star Trek fan, where somebody goes, "Hey, you remember that time?" And they describe some fucking goofball episode that has the worst thing in the world happen to it. And I laughed so hard that I almost fell down and blood started shooting out of my nose. Because we were talking about the episode in which Miles O'Brien, you know, the transporter guy,
big difference.
His daughter Molly falls into a time portal on a picnic and falls back out 10 years later as a psychotic feral child that bites people and stabs people. And then the episode ends with them just going, "She's too hard to take care of," and they go back to the planet and dump her back in the portal. And say she'll be happier this way.
They don't fix the problem.
Yeah. And everything around that is the funniest thing in the world and had me, like, actually shooting blood.
That's pretty fucked up.
Oh, laughing. And there are a million things in Star Trek about that. And the thing about that for Star Trek is because the way it was made, every time you talk about that, it's forever. It's locked in. That happened. There's no, like, this didn't count or that didn't count. Sure. It's always like, no, that
there's a 616 reality that we're following.
Yeah. And the Star Wars has had this really long history of anything goes right up until it doesn't. And the only thing you can count as gospel is the movies, and in the movies none of that stupid shit happens. Right?
Yeah.
Like, the movies don't talk about the fucking wills.
But at the same time, right, when you go to EU, like, the best and worst of Star Wars comes from the EU,
yeah, totally.
Right? Everything that, like, for everything that you thought was cool, there's probably also, like, mirrored garbage.
Oh, yeah. Like, Like, I think back to there's a TNG episode in which Beverly Crusher, the doctor, goes back to visit her Nana, and her Nana passes away. And then her Nana's Irish sex ghost latches on to Beverly. And
Can we just throw adjectives on the word ghost?
Woolie, it is an Irish sex ghost. You don't know. Okay?
Like, this sounds way too much like our flavor of terminology.
I will show you the video.
That it's okay.
Okay? And she decides to quit her job to live with her Irish sex ghost, and it starts sapping her life energy and all that. And then it gets her all wrapped up by the end of the episode. But then it's like, no, that happened. That was a thing. That wasn't like a fucking weird offshoot. Or like the book after episode 6 where Leia gets a fucking red lightsaber in honor of her dad bullshit, right? That was prime time. That aired on TV in season 7. There's no escaping it.
There's one mystery that remains that I keep hearing about, and I don't like it. I'm taken aback every time I see people talk about it.
All right,
but this is purely based on, like, sometimes you leave and walk back in, and the situation is just not what it used to be.
All right,
you know when you walk out of the party. And then
you come back and the party's different.
And it's way different. Things have gone in a different direction.
There's a community GIF available for this that you can go find.
Yes. Back in my day.
Back in your day.
When I said the word Ahsoka Tan.
Yeah?
Everyone goes, ugh. And I'm like, I know, right?
Yeah.
What a stupid piece of shit annoying thing to drop into the canon.
Right.
How terrible is it that the most annoying character has another super annoying sidekick following him around?
Yeah.
And then
now
suddenly when I wasn't looking,
that's my favorite.
I turned around for 1 second and I looked back and everyone is like, she's the best shit.
Ahsoka Tan is so popular in Star Wars
but she was so terrible.
Is so
what kind of turnaround? That's the one thing I'm like, what happened?
So popular that as a result, Star Wars canonized the use of time travel just to unkill her.
I don't even see.
Time travel in Star Wars is real and has been used.
So you just dropped 2 facts that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Right? In that one sentence.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing is this annoying Padawan kid is probably just gonna bite it because everyone does. Because we gotta get to A New Hope eventually, and we can't get to A New Hope if she's around,
dude.
So how's that going to go down? And this is like me watching her.
Let me fucking break it down for you, okay? Ahsoka, whatever her fucking name is.
Ahsoka Tan.
Whatever. She has her hero moment where she fights off fucking Darth Vader so the kids can get away.
Wait, when is this?
Clone Wars, I think, or Rebels. One of the fucking.
Okay. It's like
it's canon. Shut up.
Okay, but you're jumping into I'm trying to say that. When I walked into the movie theater and watched the 3D Clone Wars movie and I walked out, the first thing I was complaining about was how annoying that dumb kid was.
Okay, sure. But in the is it Rebel? What the fuck is it? Whatever. In it, like, she has her fucking cool-ass hero moment where she's going to stall.
So they do the turnaround.
They're just going to stall Darth Vader.
Dude, if everyone turned around, there is clearly a turnaround.
You're going to listen to this. And
that's not even what I'm trying to hear right now. I'm just trying to get everybody to confirm, right, that the first time she showed up, that shit was ass, dog.
I don't even know. I didn't see that shit.
Okay, the first time she showed up, it was garbage. I get it that there's a turnaround, but just stay with me on this one. The first version, the little stupid kid, that shit was the most annoying garbage ever.
I don't know. Sure, I believe you. Whatever.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
All right.
There we go.
So she has her cool hero moment. She's gonna fight the Darth Vader so the kids can get away, and the arena closes in, and they go, "No, don't!" And then it closes in, and you're like, "Well, Darth Vader's gonna live, so you know she's fucking dead, right?" Later, when they're talking, oh god, when they're in the time universe with the Force gods, and they're walking by all the moments that happened in seasons past, they literally just walk by a vision of her fighting Darth Vader and about to die, and they just jump through, grab her, and just jump back out. And Darth Vader's like, what? And you're like, we saved you, you're alive. The writers desperately regretted killing you off. So here the writer reached into the page and picked her up off the page and just moved her over.
No timeline ramifications for that.
Fuck that. Well, the temple gets blown up at the end, so time travel is dead. So time travel was invented, used, and killed within the span of, I think, one Star Wars Rebels episode, maybe a two-parter, just to undo this character's death.
Star Wars is unlike any other franchise when it comes to making a character you like really lame.
Yeah.
And making a really lame character do something you like.
Like Darth Vader sucks. Darth Vader sucks.
I like Darth Vader.
Did you watch the Red Letter Media breakdown on fucking Darth Vader's suit and how he's just choking in like burnt leather rubber pork smell because it was fitted to his busted limbs wrong?
I have never been more fucking upset when they pointed out that he had to fucking stop breathing for the element of surprise.
Oh, in fucking Rogue One?
I'm so mad because I fucking legit thought that moment was good.
But he's just like, I'm gonna hold my breath for 40 seconds.
No. Now, admittedly, going back to double check it. It's way faster than that.
Yeah, but still,
it's super quick.
Still, though,
it's not as bad as they said.
Shut up.
But the idea that he turned off his equipment for the element of surprise, fuck me, man. I hate that shit.
So that a cool camera shot could happen,
and it worked. Anyway, yes. Anyway, Darth
Vader is also massively overused in all fucking expanded universe stuff, particularly the games,
because he's the coolest guy from the fucking, like, you know what I mean, 70s to 80s that everyone was like, that's the villain.
Like, I have a sneaking,
what a cool badass that actually redeems himself.
I have a sneaking suspicion because with Fallen Order, I saw people complaining that there are way too many unwinnable boss fights in that game. And I'm like, I wonder who those could be against in the timeline in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Right? And it's just like,
Darth Vader,
you gotta stop.
Darth Vader, like if you like, I hate Darth Vader, or if Darth Vader sucks, like, you're an idiot. Because Darth Vader is right up there with other, like, film villains that are like, that's the bad guy, but holy shit, is it cool? Like the Predator.
But you didn't see the Predator crying and begging for sex and making sand analogies.
But the problem is, I'm talking about then, I'm talking about in that 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Right? That history, that fucking affected pop culture. And then we were like, well, let's go back to see what happened. Then yes, we unfortunately have to go into sand. And it getting everywhere.
Please, Natalie Portman, I'm young. I got a rat tail. That's hot, right?
I mean, hot takes. Fucking Anakin
sucks.
Is the lamest. Whatever.
It's the hottest.
Darth Vader's cool,
but they're the same person, Woolie.
Are they?
Yes, because no.
But
yes,
no, because fucking what's his name?
James Earl Jones says the word Padme. That character died.
Also, no, big fat bubblehead. Like squeezing like a toothpaste tube out of the top of his neck. Right? Versus Hayden Christensen.
I hate it.
Come on.
I hate Star Wars.
Still
Star Wars
cool.
is great.
Still cool.
Laser swords are cool forever.
That's
where I'm at on Star Wars.
Like you strip it all the way down. Laser swords are cool forever.
Yeah.
Cool helmets are cool forever.
Yeah.
So Mando helmets and Vader helmets.
Yeah, that's cool.
And even Kylo Ren
the
helmets.
second sister has a really cool look in Fallen Order.
All right. Revan helmets. Cool helmets are cool forever.
Yeah.
All right. The Force as an ability to game genie people.
Yeah.
In life.
It's just a level 8 wizard, dude.
Right? That's fun.
They do cantrips and shit.
That's fun, but it's in space this time.
Yeah, it's in space.
That's fun. X-Wings and TIE fighters.
locking their attack foils.
And TIE fighters.
That's cool.
And TIE Advanced.
Yeah, and the noise that the TIE fighter makes when it goes past the camera.
That's always cool.
It's like a scream.
That's always cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Pod racing is cool.
Pod racing's cool.
Pod racing is cool.
I think that's
You
like a
can't make
highlight
it not
of that
cool.
movie. It's cool.
Gonna be cool.
Swoop racing is also cool.
Yep. Droids are cool.
Robots.
Droids are cool.
Who doesn't like a good robot?
Putting personality on the robots, making them autonomous. It's good. Fun races that have quirks to them.
Yeah.
Where you go, you're like us, but you're different.
Jizz music is cool.
No.
Wooly.
No.
The music's called Jizz.
No.
You can't undo that.
It's not cool.
The Cantina music theme is Jizz.
That's not cool. The music in Star Wars is good.
Yeah.
But
John Williams is cool.
He's cool. Can't take that away.
Is he alive? Hope so.
Yeah. Mixing the Imperial March with the
AT-STs are cool. Not the big ones, but the little ones.
You don't like AT-ATs? You don't like the AT-ATs?
Nah.
I like AT-ATs.
I think the AT-STs are way cooler.
But I like AT-ATs because the way they defeated them was like an interesting, fun,
it was
thing.
Because you played Empire, whatever.
Shadows of the Empire.
That game, yeah.
Way before that,
and you did.
I always did the
loop.
No, I always thought the wraparound was rad.
Yeah, but
it's a contrivance that's like a fun thing that they discover.
Yeah,
and it's also like visually. Here's why AT-ATs are cool. Visually, they're imposing signs of
dominance
and empirical values,
yeah,
reaching out into the Democratic Republic
of whatever,
the rebellion. Yeah,
I'm so excited for Rise of the Skywalker. I'm so excited.
What if they turn it around?
I want fucking Palpatine. You know what I want from Palpatine? So Palpatine's going to be in the new movie.
What if they turn it around?
I want to point out
they canceled the D&D trilogy.
Yeah.
And they apologized for Solo.
Yeah.
And they knew that they took things too far. And they also heard that everyone fucking hated where it was going.
So
what if
Mike Stoklasa once,
I know it's too late,
once said in a moment of wisdom in his Plinkett voice, Mike Stoklasa said, Palpatine's behind it all, as we all know. Now, the fact that decades later, decades after the Plinkett review, we're now at the point where, yes, Palpatine was behind it all. I think the only way we can save this is if Palpatine does, it's me, I'm evil, right? And he turns around, and he's like a fucking head on a bunch of spider legs. Just the head.
Why even spider leg it?
Because I'm thinking of the guy from Wild Wild West.
Okay. No, I want a Futurama tube.
Oh, like a glass tube.
Glass tube.
Just a tube. And it just spins on, it's like a dinner plate, like a Lazy Susan.
Just floating around.
Yeah.
And they have to carry it.
No, you know what I want? I want him to fucking be like just the head, and he puts the lightsaber in his mouth, and he bites it, and he just flies around like a lost soul from Doom.
No, but then, they put him inside of like a body like Krang.
I don't want that. That's too, no.
But it's a body made of lightsabers.
Okay. All right.
and
they're all
force lightning is just seeping between them, and now it's all swinging at you. Now what?
The new
Your move, Jedi.
The new trilogy is so safe and boring, man.
And this is where, unless there's nowhere else to go but this, right? No matter what you thought of Episode 8,
I thought things.
There was that moment where there was an idea.
Yeah.
An idea that could have
been really cool.
Turned it around. And it wouldn't fix everything, but it would be so ballsy to just fly in the face of all expected convention and swerve.
You're talking about the dark side shit, right?
I'm talking about the back-to-back.
Yeah. Oh, right? That! Yeah, okay.
when the back-to-back happens and you're like, wait a minute, whoa, wait,
Could
what?
this possibly go in a weird new direction?
Where everybody says, fuck all of this? Because that would be so interesting. Even if what got us here has some bullshit.
Hey, Woolie.
That could have been such...
Rian Johnson wants to subvert your expectations in every way other than the one way that would have been super radical.
It's almost like something stopped it from
It's
happening.
almost like someone said no. No, you are not allowed.
Like we were going there, and then they're like, but then how are we going to do the toy sales?
Dude, I just think the funniest thing... Like, there's a lot to complain about episode 8, and I'm sure many people have made YouTube careers off of it.
Yeah.
But I think the funniest thing about that is, like, the ending where they're like, yeah, we did it. We escaped. And they're, like, all hugging and cheering, and it's, like, 12 people. And it's like,
and
you just... Like, we just had tens of thousands of our buddies die, and Admiral Akbar's fucking dead, and everyone's dead, and Luke is dead, and everything's dead. But we made it! We got out of here on the Falcon! Woo! It's like, holy shit.
Leaning into the gray is not a traditional storytelling move.
Nah.
And it's not something that, if you're going by the book, you're supposed to do with a big-ass crazy franchise like this.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, having the balls to step in that direction... would have been
so interesting,
fascinating, because then you're stuck with, like, everyone walks out of there obsessed with what that means as opposed to what just happened.
Hey, Woolie, I got a pro tip for you.
And it reminds me of a certain young Keanu Reeves holding his hand up and stopping a sentinel in the real world.
And you're like,
but what?
Uh-huh.
And the discussion ignores everything about how bad what you just saw was, because you're just going, what the fuck does that mean?
Where's this gonna go?
It might be something wacky and interesting.
It wasn't.
But
it could have been.
And that takes balls.
Hey, you wanna get super pissed off at Star Wars and really hate Star Wars based on the conversation you're having now? Go play KOTOR 2. And get ready to be super mad at how fucking lame Star Wars is.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna.
'Cause, like, Woolie, there are fucking 3 Sith in fucking KOTOR 2.
Yeah.
And all of them are literally the coolest evil characters to ever exist in that franchise.
Yeah. No, I've already put plans together to play that. So.
And I think back on, like, the speech that the villain gives you at the end, and I'm like, that one batch of dialogue is so much more compelling than any of the shit we have talked about today. It would be really nice if a character in an actual Star Wars movie was able to talk to anyone and be like, no, the dark side actually has some perks that aren't just power and being evil.
So again, this is a conversation that could have happened after the thing I'm describing. After the moment, you know?
Do you remember when we were playing KOTOR 1 and we learned the code of the Sith?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
through the Force, my chains are broken.
Yeah.
And we were like, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that's ever happened in Star Wars.
You just flip it.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. No, because here's what happens, right? I mean, I can't take it to its fullest conclusion, but it gives you food for thought where you just go, let's strip apart this whole dogma on both sides and look at its pieces and examine each one and figure out who we are from there, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I would, even if it fell on its face in terms of, like, casting, acting, events, even if the dots led to nonsense, right? Like, the idea to deconstruct your lore in that way, and also sort of, how do I put this? You know how like the time that something comes out in can be reflective of. Let me rephrase that. If you make a thing back then it's of that era.
Yeah.
And then when you make it today, you can revisit the same ideas but with the modern
This
lens.
era, yeah.
And in a lot of cases that makes it garbage.
Yeah.
But this would have been one of those ways to go like, oh, we can make it interesting, because like the concept of Sith and Jedi for the longest while have been what they are.
It's so laughably binary.
And we know it's the most pure good and evil thing there's ever been. So the thought process of like somewhere in the canon taking the time to think about that stuff,
like there's an hour
would have fucking floored
there's
me.
an hour or two into,
but I'm putting a whole bunch of shit that doesn't exist.
You're
into
dead
the case.
on, because like an hour or two into KOTOR 2, like the first person you talk to, they say, "Oh, were you involved in the Jedi Civil War?" And you go, "What? You mean like Revan's like evil war on the Republic?" And he goes, "Yeah, it was Jedi fighting Jedi."
Yeah.
And you're like, "But they were evil." And he's like, "No one cares."
Yeah.
But about like your light side, dark side fucking shit, you're all just laser wizards.
And there's always like someone who comes along and says like, you're putting way too much into this dumb thing for children. And to that person I say, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
However, the fact that they're skating so close to something that I think might be interesting makes me want to talk about that possibility.
I mean, like, Star Wars, by the end of its life, as even the original trilogy, was just like a toy vehicle. Like, that's why Ewoks exist.
Of course.
But like,
the
Gundam's a toy vehicle.
The
and that
Christmas special is the truest incarnation of Lucas's vision.
But like, Gundam's a toy vehicle, and even though they keep showing you how that fucking transformation works every single episode,
they still
talk about like, war and the future of humanity in space and shit like that. And that came right around the same era, even.
Yeah.
And then they shoot that bitch's head off with a rocket launcher.
You can sell toys and scar children at the same time.
Fuck them.
We
can kill guilty children.
If they're guilty.
Yeah. We shouldn't kill children. But what about guilty children?
Oh, they're good to go.
I should watch Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Or like Children of the Corn.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen it, but like that entire.
I assume the end of that is somebody just shoots them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like the entire the premise of like these spooky children fucking around with you, and I'm just like, okay, but eventually someone just beats their asses, right?
Yeah, just
like
runs up
thoroughly.
and hits them with a pitchfork or something.
Right at the point where you're like, okay, you gotta go, and you're no longer like a child. You're just like you're an instrument of evil that needs to be destroyed. Then you're like, oh, hey, cool. Pretty lucky to know that you're half the size of a regular human, so that you can get destroyed that much easier. Because there's a point where you just write it off. I hope that's where that goes.
You know what my favorite part about talking about this is that when you talk shit about Star Wars or any long-running thing, you always see the people trying to defend it and do it really badly. So I'm going to pick out my favorite quote of the day. Quote, "Star Wars is for children, but Anakin slaughtered children in both episode 2 and 3. That's factually incorrect. Anakin never killed one children. What Anakin did was kill younglings. Why younglings? So that you can get around from saying the words killed children in your children's film."
You think that's why?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's contrivance. I think that
younglings is such an awkward phrase. I can only think
but it's in the same way that the parlance of the rest of the universe. And he walks into a room.
No, it's not, because in episode 2, when he kills the sand people, he says, "And I killed all of them, even the children."
Even the children, yeah. But like, isn't youngling something to do with like how Obi-Wan talks about like Padawans and stuff? Isn't that just like Jedi parlance?
I don't think so. I really don't.
But also, how much is the language going to affect the idea when there's a shot of a lightsaber turning on in front of a child?
I don't know, man.
Like, it's not going to do much.
And then a pan of a bunch of dead kids.
I am not buying it. I don't know.
That was my favorite part.
But it is very clear that that does occur. And up until that point, you do have the first version of it where you do get, he's riding the motorcycle, and then you're like...
He's like, I'm going to cut these
But they were
kids.
the bad ones, though.
They're the bad ones. They weren't human.
They were the evil ones.
Yeah. I kill them.
They don't count.
We later find out that they're of a noble pre-Republic race.
Oh, yeah?
The Sand People, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a fucking history dating back to zillions of years.
Well, yeah, shouldn't have kidnapped his mom. That's what happens.
Star Wars is the worst. I love
Shout
Star
outs to
Wars.
that thread that was like awesome posters for bad movies.
Yeah.
And it showed you the episode 1 poster where
It's really good.
baby Anakin's walking and he's got the shadow on
It
the
is
wall.
the Darth Vader shadow.
It's good.
You're like, oh, wow.
Very
Little
strong.
did we know.
Yeah, anyway, give the Mando a click.
I'll give Mando a clip, maybe.
See how you feel.